with me, Queen Ezzy, and the tea is plentiful today. So get your cups ready and grab some snacks because, hunty, it is piping hot, okay? Look, listen, let me tell you. So I happen to had a front row seat to the Mobe / Calabaza non-wedding because it did not happen. And let me just say, you talking about drama, llama, and then some. But first, I want to start with some context because tea without context is bland, okay? So the flavor has to be added in order for it to come together. So I'm going to start first off with personal friends of mine, the Mobes, very close family to my heart. I promise you I can do this objectively and not be biased, but I want to start with them first because my boy Basil has had his heart broken into pieces. And before anybody comes for me, just know that I got permission from the family to speak on their behalf. Actually, I got permission from both family members because the story needs to be told. And they trust me because they know I will tell the truth. I won't sugarcoat anything. And I make sure that I present it in a classy manner because this is not just a gossip station. This station is a station that's committed to presenting the truth, okay? So with that being said, let's start with the Mobes. So Mobe is the last name of Basil and his parents. So Bay is French for berry, and Mole, usually you hear the name Mulberry. So basically Mobe is mulberry in French. Don't quote me on that, but Bay is the French term for berry. So that's the last name. Just a bit of background on that. Let's go into the Mobes, the parents specifically. So Basil's parents, Vera and Lawrence. Vera met Lawrence in college and of course was quickly swept off her feet by his charismatic charm. Now, she originally was from Willow Creek. She studied education and she always wanted to educate future generations and set them up for success. She's always had a passion for learning and a desire to spread that knowledge to generations to come. And Vera and Laura married right after graduating college. So these are real relationship goals. When you talk about relationship goals, you think about Vera and Lawrence. They are relationship goals, okay? They are Black excellence, Black love. They are all of that wrapped into one. They are what you want, you will achieve, you desire to achieve when you think about relationships. But they have two beautiful children. Basil, of course, is the oldest, and he has a younger sister in high school, Sage. And Basil became interested in robotics and computers at a young age, so he always would tinker around, take stuff apart, put stuff together again, and his parents were like, look, our television and our electronics, and that is not for you to take apart and put together again. That stuff is expensive. So we're going to put you in some kind of class because we see that you're interested. We see that you're intrigued. That's great. We're going to put you in class for that. So after high school, he actually went to Foxbury and there he majored in computer engineering and his main focus was his studies. So he never really was serious about relationships, but he had his whole days, he wasn't really serious about being with a girl. He was more focused on getting his money, but he wanted a relationship. Like, he always wanted to be in a fully committed, serious marriage. He's looking for love. He had the best example of what a healthy relationship looked like with his parents. So, of course, he wanted to achieve that. Now, he'd known Tempest. Him and Tempest have known each other all of their lives. And he never really thought of her in a romantic way until, freshman year of college. Basil always saw Tempest as a friend. So they known each other, of course, since they were in diapers. And as they matured over the years, Basil started to see Tempest in a different light. You know how it is. You be with your best friend or somebody that you consider to be, you know, a family friend. And then all of a sudden you look at her one day and you're like, whoa, what happened to her? But Tempest now, she was intelligent, goal-oriented, motivated, and focused on becoming successful in life. This resonated with Basil so much that he asked her to be his girlfriend, and to his delight, she agreed. Then they got engaged senior year. He was overjoyed, and they made the announcement to friends and family and began making plans for the wedding. So they decided to set the date after graduation. It's because, you know, it's a lot going on. Like, you're graduating, you're getting married, so they wanted to have time to plan everything out. So everything was going well until Tempest's mother got into Tempest's head. Apparently, now she was telling her things like, she's too young to get married. She has a whole life ahead of her. Basil will never make it as an engineer. He should be focused on becoming the next CEO of the investment company. And she went on to tell Tempest that marrying at a young age will bring on a struggle for stability. And the last thing that Blanche wanted for her daughter and future grandchild is to struggle. And secretly, this is the real tea, Blanche wanted Tempest to marry another man, a politician, and Blanche felt that she could use a politician in her career, which we're going to get to in just a second. She felt he would be more useful than some engineer, and unbeknownst to both Blanche and Tempest, Basil was actually offered a position at a high-profile engineering company, making a overly decent salary to start, and already had plans on constructing a home for Tempest and their family. He was going to surprise Tempest with the news as a wedding gift, but much to his dismay, Tempest called off the wedding and left my guy at the altar. So, I mean, wow, okay? Just wow. But before I go into further details about that scene, let's talk about the other side of the family. So let's talk about Blanche. Now, Blanche is a self-proclaimed stay-at-home mom. She met her husband, Elijah, in high school. So they were high school sweethearts. Blanche always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and wife. She is what is considered, and these are her words, I'm quoting her, materialistic, and she cared a lot about appearances and money. And ever since she first laid eyes on Elijah in homeroom, that first day of school, she made plans to get to know him. She found him to be smart, funny, sweet, mature, and most importantly, he was on a mission. See, Elijah had goals of one day owning his own business, and he already had started making plans and taking the next steps to reach his goals. So this impressed Blanche a lot, especially since in high school you never have your plan, your life figured out. Most guys their age were only concerned with sports and how many girls' phone numbers they could get. And the more time that Blanche spent with Elijah, the closer they became. So by the time they graduated high school, Elijah had proposed. Of course, Blanche accepted, much to the chagrin of her parents. They did not approve of the marriage as they felt the couple was too young and not yet able to support themselves. But Elijah was determined to prove he would be successful. So he got a job, he went to college, he graduated top of his class, and he began working at SimCorp with Lawrence. So they all go way, way back, you all. Meanwhile, Blanche gave birth to their baby girl, Tempest. Mobay and Calabaza and Associates began to grow and eventually became one of SimForbes Fortune 500 companies. Blanche became obsessed with the money that was rolling in, and as she grew older, she made it her mission to keep her youthful appearance no matter what. She became obsessed about fitness and wellness. And the one line that she vowed not to cross was cosmetic surgery. So she refused to get anything done, and she fully believed in things being a natural process, but she was in fact obsessed. Okay, and then Elijah always had a plan, and as a young man, he always dreamed of owning his own business. He used to watch his father work his fingers to the bone to put food on the table and clothes on the backs of his mother and himself. While his father made excellent money, the long hours would often cause him to miss out on critical family moments. Elijah vowed to be a different father. He knew there would be a way to balance both career and family life. So he decided that way would be to go into business for himself. So he started researching on how to become an entrepreneur. He took as many classes in school as he could, as well as paid for extra outside classes. And by the time he reached high school, he had a business proposal, but he needed a reliable business partner. So it only made sense that his best friend should be his business partner. All the other boys of the class had their priorities out of order. Elijah presented his plans to Lawrence, who readily agreed to go into business with him, and the two immediately began to work towards owning an investment firm. Both men were excellent with money and numbers, so this seemed like the best option. And after graduating high school, the friends went to college, majored in business investments, and worked 12 years for SimCorp Investments before finally being able to launch their own company. A business bank account was established where Elijah and Lawrence both contributed savings towards the business, and Lawrence and Elijah were, childhood buds. They lived on the same block. Their parents were close friends. They have a brotherly bond that seemingly cannot be undone. So this whole family, this is the tragedy of the actions performed by Tempest, is that the families were so close. These people go back years and years and years. And unfortunately, though I don't believe the friendship will be damaged, as far as, it's over 30 years of friendship there. So I don't think that it's going to be affected, definitely. But I don't think it's going to destroy the friendship or end the friendship. And of course, the Mulbays and the Calabazas, they're in business together, so they have to maintain that business side, that professional side. But it's just so sad and tragic that this happened to my guy Basil. But we know that he will bounce back. It may take a minute, breakups, they tend to do that, but he will be okay in the long run. So just wanted to give you all the real details of what happened that dreadful day that Tempest Calabaza left Basil Mulbay at the altar. And I will end on this note. Maybe it'll be a question for you all. You can leave a comment and let me know. Do you think Tempest regrets her actions? I heard, and this is completely a rumor, so I will admit to you this is a rumor, but I heard that Tempest left Basil at the altar because she's pregnant, or she found out she was pregnant, and the baby was not Basil's. Ooh, sip on that. Now, I don't know if it's true. That's why I said it's a rumor, so don't take it as truth, but that is what I heard. But I guess time will tell. Speaking of time, mine is up. So thank you so much for tuning in for Tea Time with me, Queen Ezzy. And until next time, be safe.